Super Smash Bros. Is one of my favorite series of all time. Chances are you've gotten to experience the game at least once in the form of Melee or Brawl or Ultimate or whatever else. For me, my first entry was Super Smash Bros. Melee, a game that I played for hours as a kid, but eventually I did move on to Brawl. Brawl was something newer, better, fresh. But as Melee has proved, newer isn't always better, and sometimes even the oldest games will shine on for years. I inevitably came back to Melee. Once I discovered how incredible tournaments were and how technical the game was, I fell in love with it immediately. I've been in the scene for a little while now. My first tournament was Apex 2015, which is a fire tournament to start with, by the way. But I've definitely been here long enough to know that Nintendo hates Melee. Nintendo is no stranger to trying to shut down events just because Melee is there, or barely showing an ounce of support to the game, even though it's 20 years old and only seems to grow and grow and grow. And once again, they're back at it, as just a couple hours ago, the Big House, one of the largest tournaments in the world for Smash, posted this statement. This essentially states that they are forced to pull Melee and subsequently Ultimate from their lineup because the Melee being featured has a mod pack. For those who don't know, there's a way to play Super Smash Bros. Melee online using Dolphin emulators, and furthermore than that, there's a mod pack called Slippi, which allows for a far better connection and even an unranked mode to play against anyone in the world. I'm not going to try and go into specifics on how it works, but not only is it amazing for the Melee scene, but it was created by a single dude named Fizzy. Now, I don't know how many people know this, but we're kind of in the middle of a pandemic, meaning that giant Smash tournaments filled with a ton of people are just not going to happen right now. With regular Dolphin net play not being the greatest peer-to-peer connection, Slippi is the best thing we have right now for tournaments, which is why this sucks so much, as it's only inevitable for them to try and put a stop to other or potentially bigger tournaments. Things are already complicated as it is, trying to make everything run smoothly in this completely online world, and this just makes it that much harder. When I first started getting into the scene, my brother was also getting into it. We had a couple friends around that we would play friendlies with and stuff like that, but eventually wanted to start our own tournament. So we did. It was in a tiny, small, dinky part of this random card shop that we had to pay to have them let us use it. We even had to change the location a couple times. Sometimes we get like 4 or 5 people tops. The payout was not great because of that, but I still loved it. Those tournaments are some of the best times I've ever had to experience with my brother and his friends. We just got to play Melee with a couple buds and start our own tournament. On top of that, I had the pleasure to go to one of the biggest events I've ever been to, Smash and Splash 4, which, if you don't know, was watched live by Ninja, who at the time was the biggest streamer in the world, and it was streamed live to roughly 100,000 people, so maybe, arguably, Ninja has done more for the scene than Nintendo themselves. Either way, it was easily one of the most fun weekends of my life, and I had a great time getting to finally compete and meet a bunch of top players and get to see some amazing Melee live in person. But we can't do that right now, so we have to use Slippi. And I shouldn't even say that like Slippi's a bad thing. Slippi's amazing. I think we can all agree that being in person would certainly be better, but if Slippi's all we have to work with, that's pretty damn good. But Nintendo's decision to say no to Slippi only adds to their yearly, or at this point bi-weekly, tradition of just dumping endlessly on Melee no matter what. I'm really not trying to say any of these things like I'm a Melee elitist or Melee's the best game of all time, even though it might be. I enjoy Ultimate. I'm one of the biggest Nintendo fans out there. I buy practically every single game they put out no matter what, even if I'm not going to enjoy it. I own a Wii U, for Christ's sake. But do you want to know what I've been doing all day? I've been wearing my Hunter x Hunter sweatpants, I've been watching Smash Summit 10, and I've been having a great day. Until I saw this statement. But as far as Nintendo goes, typically I'm honestly defending them. I love them as a company. I love their games. They've created so many bangers that have brought so much joy and experiences to my life. I love Nintendo, but goddamn, decisions like these are just incredibly backwards, and I urge them to rethink it. But I know they won't, and I know my opinion doesn't really matter. No one at Nintendo, or even in general, is going to see this and think, you know what? White virgin nerd kinda spittin'. But I just wanted to get my own thoughts and opinions out there. If this encourages even one person to tweet out free Melee, or if it somehow reaches Dougie Bowser himself, hey, I sincerely hope my tiny little drop in the water pool will create some kind of ripple. Anyways, thanks for watching. That's all I got. This is pretty different from how my usual channel is. If you want to subscribe and check out my other stuff, you're welcome to. I just saw some people talking about it, and having been a Melee fan for a while now, I thought it might be good to say something. Specifically Ludwig, I want to give a shout out to, as he made a great video, and I'm glad he's been doing so much for the scene, even after getting so big on Twitch. Still though, I ordered a bone hoodie a while ago, and it's still not here, man. What's up with that?